Well, the thing that surprises me still is the degree to which so many Americans, Canadians, and Europeans who are otherwise sober, liberally minded, to use the Ukrainian word, normal, the degree to which so many people apologize and or love Putin. I am simply baffled by this. I can understand when one has some kind of deep love of Mother Russia, although that's a little silly, but okay, there are lots of people who are in love with the Russian language and culture and they feel impelled to defend Russia. Fair enough. But Putin, to be an apologist for Putin, that to me is simply incomprehensible. Now, that said, it's comprehensible when it's a fascist who does that, and there are enough fascists who like Putin. That makes sense. They're just supporting their own. I can understand when people on the far left do that, because they are so motivated by anti-Americanism usually that they'll support anybody as long as it's not an American. But then you've got people in the academic world, Ukrainians, some of them are Ukrainians and Ukrainian background, many of them are Americans, Canadians, West Europeans, who actually shed a tear of sympathy for one of the 21st century's greatest dictators, a man who has violated human and civil rights, not just in Ukraine, that's irrelevant, in Russia, in Mother Russia, a man who has also transformed, undermined the architectural system, security system of the last 70 years, a man who's embarking on wars, and who fundamentally has made everything worse for Russians themselves. So not only is he a criminal, not only is he a killer, not only is he a liar, he's a pretty terrible leader to boot. And yet, there are people who will bend over backwards and say, well, you got to understand. No, you do not got to understand. I think the comparison of Putin with Mussolini and Hitler is so appropriate. It's so spot on. It's so obvious. And it's still striking how many intellectuals will be reluctant even to scratch that for fear of treading on Putin's toes. And that to me is striking. I mean, 3 years ago, fine. 2 years ago, well, no. 1 year ago and now, how can you still support this man? It's just incomprehensible to me. And, mind you, you could at the same time still insist that the United States or the West and Russia have to find a modus vivendi, that there has to be a compromise. You can make all those claims, but my point is, how can you actually admire, like, and defend one of the bloodiest dictators of the 21st century? That to me is incomprehensible and very surprising.